What is up everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel Shadow the First. Today I am going to show you my way of getting to SSS on the Arbiter Frost Codex. So yeah, we're gonna get straight to it. Without further ado, just roll the intro. Before we begin, I have to warn you, right? There are 3 units that you must have at least one of them to be able to achieve this. These 3 units are Soul Cadence, Ingrid, or Praetus. I think it's the best one and the easiest one to work with is going to be Soul Cadence. However, Soul Cadence doesn't work with other units such as this, like Praetus and Ingrid. Praetus is the middle ground, and Ingrid is going to be the hardest to work with, believe it or not, simply because, well, the faction bonuses doesn't really work out. And I'm going to give a build for all of these 3. However, we're going to go with the hardest one, and that is going to be the Ingrid comp. So this is going to be the team that I'm going to be using. However, let's go over some of the other teams. First of all, if you're running Soul Cadence, right, you want to use Soul Cadence as a Lord, and then have Dolores as your invigoration unit. You need Eloin all the time, you need the Salt all the time, and then you're also going to have Anai and Lord Phineas. Ingrid is going to be swapped out for Soul Cadence, and Constance for Dolores. If you're running a Praetus comp, the exact same setup as this, just switch Ingrid with Praetus. And if you have Ingrid and Praetus together, right, first of all run Praetus as the Lord, and also remove Anai as your DPS, because like Anai is either really good or really bad. In my case, which is like I have her in this Infernal Roar set, I have tested her with some crazy Soulbound Arcana, but this is as well as she does. She's basically going to be a support, she's not going to be a main DPS, so but just look at who's doing the least amount of damage out of your team and have them replaced. But Lord Phineas is very important, like I can't stress this enough. Lord Phineas is one of the most important people in this comp, and if you're running Ingrid, this is how your comp should look like. And if you want to run Alistair, first of all, I don't recommend it, but if you don't have Phineas, switch Anai for Alistair, and then have someone else such as Hex run with you. Without further ado, let's get right to it. This will probably at the end take a little bit of RNG with how Lord Phineas triggers his Blade of Treachery. However, it should be fine. Let's start. So first of all, I'm going to put down Ingrid and immediately alt. Put Eloin to give her invigoration. Now this is the part, right? We have 4 platform units and 2 ground units. And that means basically I have to put 1 unit here, so out of Eloin range, right? And that unit has to sustain itself, and that unit is going to be in Salt, and Salt is permanently going to sustain himself. That's going to be fine. Then Anai, I made a mistake placing her down, however that should be fine. Then Lord Phineas, and finally Constance in the very middle. Now just let it run, great, simple as that. Right, super straightforward. Look at that. Right, done. And I'm gonna wait for Nasalt to build his 3rd vial. I'm gonna run Constance here. Nasalt. There we go. Trigger all the alts so Phineas is ready. Then do that. Basically, the whole idea with Phineas is that you ult with everybody else and have his like Viscount's Flame stack up to 5 or 4, right? In our case, it's going to be 4. It's going to stack up to that, and then he's going to do an ult himself, and that's going to max out at 250% additional crit damage. So you want to build him heavy into attack. Let's go. Look at that, right? You see this like these little things around him, like. That's going to be like the indicators. Let's go. The main DPS is going to be the main DPS of this comp is going to be Ingrid. However, the one that's going to break the orbs as quickly as possible is going to be, like at the end especially, it's going to be Phineas. so that's also important to note. Wait a little, then trigger. Now I'm gonna ult with Eloin, just to give more stacks to Phineas. There we go. Just like so. Keep it going. Now this is the part that Constance is not gonna reach, right? That's fine. It doesn't matter that much. And this ult again. I'll show you the gear at the end, by the way. Another ult with Eloin to give more stacks of Viscount's Flame. Now we see Phineas is ready. We want to save. Now trigger Constance and Phineas. Just like so. Beautiful. Look at that. Eating yourself. Beautiful, beautiful. More stacks for Phineas. Eloin ult again. Ult. I'm gonna ult there. And ult with him as well. Look at that. So I had to save up a little to make sure that he had maxed out Viscount's Flame. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty fine. That keep going. Now this is the part that it starts to get scary. Ult with Eloin. Ult as fast as we can. And this ult again. Now you want to save Phineas. Do not use Phineas. Maxed out Phineas, as you can see. Right. I'm gonna save and not use it yet. Just like so. Come on, break this. Just like so, beautiful. Start dealing damage, a lot of damage. I want to wait until Phineas's ult is gone. Then I want to use Eloin to give more stacks of Viscount's Flame. Come on, we're already at triple S, just like that. Come on, let's go. Let's keep it going. The next ult is going to be really scary trying to get through. This is the final orb. Assault. Phineas. It's a 50-50 whether we make it or not. Ah, that was so close. Put Wood Elf here to make sure survives. Anai survives. But yeah, as you saw, it was really close. Just a tad bit better gear and we're golden. Ultimate Eloin for more stacks. But yeah, it's not gonna really matter. Just like that, 2.1 million. That's actually my record, I think. I think that's a new record for me. Yeah, look at that, beautiful. So prior to this it was 2.7, but yeah, as you can see it's 2.11 million. Beautiful if you want to look at it. As you can see, so much damage from Ingrid. Ingrid is the main win condition. Nasalt is a helper, especially with his A3. He's going to give like more damage to DOTs, and that's like why everyone's using him. Not only is he like good at dealing damage, but the thing is his A3 makes DOTs such as like burn and poison and all of that deal 30% more damage overall. So he's basically not only dealing a lot of damage but buffing as well. Then there's Phineas, who's the shield breaker. As you can see, he doesn't have that much damage, but the main reason is that he's just breaking shields. And then there's Anai, who's providing burns for Phineas to break shields, because Phineas has that passive that he ignores 50% of target's defense if the target has like 7 stacks of flame. 7 stacks of burning. As they talk about this. So yeah, increases penetration by 7% for each burning effect on the target, stack up to 7 times. And basically what Anai does is during her ultimate, she doesn't allow burnings to run out, right? Refreshes every burning inflicted by the hero. So she just keeps the burnings on, so Phineas gets a lot of penetration there. Okay, now let's get to the gear, and the most important is going to be Ingrid. I'm using her A3, right, which you might have noticed. But the thing is, right, as much as you're saying that, oh my god, that's A3 Ingrid, it's not that important, right? Believe it or not, it's not that important, because the damage is not coming from the units, it's coming from their DOTs. And the more, yes, on her A3, she just starts rapid firing those radiant erosions. But the thing is, so long as she can keep the perma radiant erosion, which is like the natural, that's what Ingrid does. If you put a single target in front of any boss, she's basically going to give them perma radiant erosion. So A3 doesn't actually matter that much, believe it or not. It's just like going to be more and more and more, and ensure that we have guaranteed that. But if RNG screws you up, you can just like come out and then do it again. This is the gear that we have on our Ingrid, and mostly on the attack speed side, because it's very important for us to make sure that she constantly attacks and refreshes that radiant erosion at 3 stacks. We have almost 24k attack, 90% crit rate at 311, crit damage, 1.6 attack interval. Let's move to Phineas, which is the second most important. Also, like, yeah, we're running Ingrid in a tier of Twilight. Then we have Phineas. Phineas is being run in Frigid Flame, right? That's the thing, it's not even max. My Phineas is not even max skilled. My Frigid Flame is not even max skilled. These effects, like unlike A3 Ingrid, these are actually important for dealing damage. But as you can see, like Blade of Treachery, this is very important. Devil's Den, especially this especially burst damage, is very, very important for breaking that last shield or second to last shield. But yeah, I have him in a Frigid Flame, running like around 24k attack, 1.4 attack interval, doesn't matter that much, a lot of crit rate and a lot of crit damage. Which is kind of stupid. If you can run him in triple attack, that's even better. Unfortunately, I don't have triple attack Soulbound Arcana that's like this good, so I'm just doing this. But yeah, just run him as much attack as you can, triple attack, put it on Phineas. Next up, we have, who else is important? Nasalt. Nasalt is also important, and people build him very wrong. This is my Yovar set, again another Soulbound Arcana set, as you can see. The attributes are 12.5k attack, 1.6k attack interval, guaranteed crit, and 360 crit damage. The main thing with Nasalt is that he's running a Nightmare Samsara, and the main reason behind that is because he's really slow at gaining rage, and this really helps with the ult, because like when he's out of the ult, he already has 50% rage. That's why you might have seen like my Nasalt ulting so rapidly, because yes, he's ulting, but since he's constantly throwing those like orbs, he's also getting a lot of like Nightmare Samsara like stacks. So yeah, it's basically like a self-sustaining synergy. Then there's Anai. My Anai is A2, but as you saw, Anai is doing the least amount of damage out of my comp, so it doesn't really matter that much. My Anai is not crystal at all. This is her awakenings, like crystals, skill ups. We have her in an Infernal Roar set with 70.7k attack, guaranteed crit, and 3.12 crit damage, with a decent amount of attack speed as well. We also have her in my second tier of Twilight, and that's going to be important. If you have a third maxed out tier of Twilight, do not give that to Nasalt. Just give that to someone else, right? Don't give them to Nasalt. Nasalt has to be in Nightmare Samsara to ensure that every time he gets his ult up for the little snowball thingy, right? Otherwise, you're going to struggle with breaking the thing. That's that. Then there's Eloin, not really important, but yeah, in an invigoration set that gives to Ingrid. Well, that's about it. There's not much to it. Top 1%. Yeah. thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Good luck. If you have any questions, if you need any help, please let me know. And sayonara.